So I am currently in the process of chasing peace in my life. I want to prioritize peace. I've backpacked the world for the past 2 years, having the exact opposite of peace and just like purely adventure. And I'm moving into creating this new life for myself. And with that being said, I've thought a lot about peace. I've watched a lot of videos and lectures on peace. And I've also been on a spiritual journey for the past 4 or 5 years. What I've learned is the only true constant of life is change. If the very fabric of life is change, then it has to be tied in with peace and serenity somehow. And that really like it tribulated my mind for a while because I'm like, isn't the definition of peace and serenity stability? Something that's always staying the same. And I had to really think to myself, Michaela, everything is always changing. Nothing will ever stay the same in any part of the universe at any time. Um, and like when I thought of that, like it's weird though, because if you're on the spiritual journey, you realize that that's true and that's not true at the very same time. But then I had to anchor down and ground myself and be like, okay, well, I'm having this human experience right now. And here in this human experience, change is really the only constant. Even if life is infinite and everything that is happening is infinitely happening, as I'm experiencing life in this linear viewpoint, change is the only constant. And learning that and realizing it and really like seeing how it felt in my body, I was like, wow. So my goal to find peace in my life is to become okay with change, is to fully embrace change and to become a friend of change and to learn to ride the wave like surfers do. Um, and so I sat and I thought a lot about that because I've always had a fear of change. Like the fact that we're going to pass away, that I'm going to lose loved ones as I continue to grow older, it like it literally felt like such a weight in my heart. And I actually was in Guatemala a few months ago and I was talking to one of my friends who considers himself a shaman, and I said to him like, how are you okay with death? I just cannot understand. And him and another friend, they both said to me, they were like, Michaela, it is the most natural thing that we all will ever do. It is the most natural thing that happens to every single being, living being on this planet. It's the most natural thing that will ever happen. And I had to sit there and really feel that in my body. And they were telling me how we don't see death anymore. Back in the day before we were all so separated, you saw death. If you were in a trial, you saw, if you were in the tribe, you saw the people around you passing away. Even in nature, you saw animals killing one another. You saw the like animal bodies. You watched the experience happen. We don't get that anymore, especially because a lot of people die in the hospital, in a cold hospital alone, or in a nursing home alone, rather than being with their family, being with their tribe, being with the people that really, are family. We don't really have that anymore. And I sat down and I really thought about it. We don't have that anymore. We don't experience that. That's why I feel so disconnected from the idea of death. And that's why I have so much fear of it, because I don't understand it. If you don't understand something, you learn to fear it. But fear is an illusion. Fear is just something that keeps you from experiencing life. And I had to really dive into my fear of death, because my fear of death was really just a fear of living. Let me say that again. My fear of death was really just a fear of living. It I've never actually experienced death. Like I've had experiences where I've actually watched people pass away, but me myself, I've never actually had the experience of death in my life because I'm literally still alive talking to you. And when I realized that that fear of death, it's not actually a fear of death, it's a fear of my perception of death. I can only perceive death in the way that I perceive it, right? But I've never actually experienced it. So what I'm fearing is literally just an illusion. I don't actually know what death feels like. I don't know if it's some scary experience. I'm just placing this fearful perspective on this thing that happens all the time that has never happened to me. But again, I don't know actually what the experience is like. So I'm not actually afraid of death. I'm afraid of my perspective of that experience. When in actuality, it could be actually be a very beautiful experience. It could be a very beautiful experience. And I truly think that it is, because why would we be subject, everybody that is alive, subject to this experience if it wasn't something that was beautiful? something that should be cherished, something that was the very essence of life in itself, you know? And so dealing with that, I realized like it's okay. You can breathe. I was thinking about stopping the video because I actually don't remember what I started. I just started channeling so much of just my internal dialogue. I don't even remember what the original point of this video was anymore. um, but yeah, you guys, you got this. I had to really process that entire thing and just become grateful for the fact that I'm alive. And I've always had this innate gratitude for life, but to be experiencing it actively and to be experiencing it in my body and to be learning to process through my body because I'm getting emotional. I'm a Virgo, so I'm a person that I process most things analytically. I process most things in my mind. And this girl who actually, O'Shea Renee, she has this book called the Self Honeymoon Journal, really powerful journal. I had a Zoom meeting with her, and she said to me, "You don't process things through your body. You need to learn to process life and process your spiritual journey through your body as it's happening to you, not only mentally." And when I realized that I wasn't doing that and that I wasn't breathing this shit in, when I realized and I started doing it, I started having a different experience of my spiritual life. Um, and I started practicing differently. And it's been really powerful. So definitely make that a priority in your life because I didn't realize that I wasn't doing that. And when you do that and when you really ground into your physical body, it makes it a much more enlightening and joyful experience because you're truly alive. You're no longer dissociated. Because as much as I was figuring shit out spiritually and mentally up here, I realized that I was entering a period of like spiritual dissociation rather than an embodied spiritual experience, which is really powerful. I also have been getting a lot into Joe Dispenza. I have the Becoming Supernatural book here. I am diving into it and I'm so excited. I've done a few of his meditations this week and the amount of joy, I mean pure joy that I've felt just beaming through my body as I'm learning to incorporate like spirituality into my health. It's my God, I cannot explain it. So I'm super excited to dive more into his teachings, and to really embrace a different perspective on what's possible in my life. I want to literally become supernatural, baby. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really just wanted to share what I needed to get out, and I really hope that it helped you process as well because sometimes we need to just talk about these things and hear a word of encouragement and know that you're not the only one experiencing this life and experiencing the ups and downs and the craziness. Um, but you can foster a sense of peace in your life if you can become okay with the changes. When you can process it and allow yourself to be up, allow yourself to be down, and know that you are literally the cosmos in motion. Your light in motion, baby. It's really gorgeous. That's what peace can flourish if you set up the foundation for it to flourish within yourself. If you like stability and change lie on the same degrees. So learn to tap into both of them and flow with the river. All right. I love you guys. I'm going to hang up. This feels like a FaceTime call. I love you. Bye bye.